Hey there, welcome to Your Trek. I'm Mish and I'm a Trekkie. Today, today is the last day of the original series TV show. We're getting into the movies, so that starts tomorrow. So I'm getting ready to sleep through the motion picture tomorrow. But today we had All Our Yesterdays and Turnabout Intruder. So it's funny because let's see, All Our Yesterdays, it aired, I don't know, sometime in early or late April, and then there was like a month of no Star Trek, and then all of a sudden June 3rd you had Turnabout Intruder. So and then that was the last episode number 79 to air. Now I remember All Our Yesterdays as being a good episode, or at least, I enjoyed it. I think they make a callback to this in Star Trek. I don't know if it's an intentional callback, but there's a similar scene in Star Trek 6, but that happened in All Our Yesterdays with McCoy, and we'll get to that when we get to Star Trek 6. So All Our Yesterdays, it's Stardate 5943.7. Enterprise arrives at a planet. Sun's going to go supernova. The planet had life on it, but when they get down there, there's nobody, and they find themselves in this what looks like a library, and then they run into this guy named Mr. Atoz, spelled A-T-O-Z. Library A to Z. So Mr. Atoz. I don't know if anybody ever picked up on that. I picked up on that a long time ago. And then I read it somewhere and I was like, oh, I was right. So anyway, so Kirk ends up going to, they all end up in the past because basically they were wondering, where did everybody go? Well, to save the planet from the nova, they send, well, not the planet, but the population. They send everybody into the past. So they don't find this out until halfway through the episode, but Kirk ends up going back to, I don't know, somewhere where all the fighters look like the Three Musketeers. And then McCoy and Spock end up going back to the Ice Age, and they actually say about 5,000 years prior. So, of course, while Kirk is there, in the past, he runs into a magistrate, and the magistrate is actually from the future or from whatever, and understands and eventually gets him back. And then Spock and McCoy, they end up in the middle of a blizzard because it's the Ice Age, 5,000 years prior, and they end up meeting. Did I write down her name? I didn't write down her name. Anyway, Zara Beth. Zara Beth is her name. Anyway, so Zara Beth is actually a prisoner. Like, instead of actually being sent to prison, she's sent back in time. Like, I thought that was kind of an interesting concept. Instead of, and I don't know if I don't think I really caught on to that originally, like watching it before, but she was actually like, and she kept on talking about this guy's Zorkon, but regardless, if instead of killing somebody, they're sent back in time. Now, I don't know how that would really work out because, of course, she's sent back so far back in time that she really can't influence anything forward. And we'll get into the whole time thing, but McCoy and Spock they eventually get back because, of course, we have all this other, Star Trek adventures after this. Um, McCoy, or it's kind of really more of a Spock thing because Spock falls in love with Zarabeth. His emotions are coming out, and they play it off that 5,000 years prior, Vulcans were barbarians, and that and so of course he was kind of de-evolving. Now, I have a question about that. So, why would he de-evolve? Like, he's been through the training. He hasn't been through the Kolinar. That happens tomorrow. But I don't get it. I don't get why would, I mean, I know it's part of the story, but why would he de-evolve? It's like he's going back. It's no different than Kirk or McCoy. And McCoy was with him. McCoy going back, wouldn't he de-evolve into, and not de-evolve like they did in with that one stupid Next Generation episode, but like, like, wouldn't McCoy also start to be more barbaric? Or were the Vulcans more barbaric than humans? I don't know. I don't get that part. And maybe if they were prepared for going back in time, that they wouldn't be barbaric, or that wouldn't de-evolve. I don't know. That was just kind of a thing that I just didn't get. And then of course, Zarabeth, this is the middle of nowhere. Like, it's essentially Hoth. It's an ice planet. Everything's freaking cold. And yes, the cavern where she's at, she says that there's a hot spring, and that's how that place is heated. But she's wearing like no clothing. Like, she takes off her thing, and it's just this, like, it's not even a two-piece. It's like a little bit more than a two-piece swimsuit. My notes are 60s female outfits equals almost no clothing. So, I don't have a problem with it. Very pretty gal, but yeah. The other thing I had a problem with is that Spock starts his phaser. He's going to basically heat up a rock, kind of do what Sulu did on that one planet, and for heat. But the phaser doesn't work yet. And yet, when he's using the medical equipment on McCoy, because McCoy is like almost frozen, that seems to work. Yeah, I don't. Never thought it was a bad episode. It's just kind of an okay episode. It was one of the better ones for season 3. I would totally say that. But one of the better ones for season 3, but not the best. Let's see. And then of course, everybody survives, spoiler alert, everybody survives. They get on, as the Enterprise goes away and the star supernovas, we get to see the planet blow up. And I was like, ooh, cool CGI, because it's all the CGI stuff. The next one, Turnabout Intruder. It's funny. I always thought that this was a bad episode. It's the last episode. It wasn't that good, and it wasn't. But it wasn't bad. It wasn't as bad as I remember it. I don't know. I don't know why. So Turnabout Intruder, start date 5/9. to 8.5. And if we are actually going in Stardate order, technically all our yesterdays would be the last episode. But anyway, so we meet Janice Lester, or Janet Lester, who is an ex-girlfriend of Captain Kirk's. They end up going. Apparently, she's been subjected to some radiation, and she's dying. Kirk and crew go there to help out, and they, using some ancient machine, Janet switches bodies with Kirk. And so, and right there, this is kind of where they establish that there are no women in Starfleet, or not no women in Starfleet. There are no women captains, woman captains, female captains in Starfleet. Now, not to say that there are stupid people out there, but there are. I'm on a couple different Star Trek groups on Facebook, and I have seen the question come up more than once, saying that why did Janet Lester say that there are no female captains in Starfleet when the second starship put out by Starfleet, NX-02, I think it was the Columbia. I can't remember exactly which one it was. We'll eventually watch that episode. That captain was a female. And it's like, okay, it's okay to be new to Star Trek. It's okay. But you have, like, are these people not aware that the original generation was made in the freaking 60s and Enterprise was made in the late 90s, 2000s? Like, it hurts my brain. It hurts my brain. Yes, they retconned it. Totally cool. I don't even know why they put it in there. I mean, yes, it gives her motivation for why she was doing what she was doing. I get it, Janet. But to have somebody ask a question like that, there are dumb people out there. Just fucking pay attention. Anyway, so yes, now they say no women captains, and that's basically part of her motivation. She wants to be a captain, and because she's female, she couldn't be one, at least according to the 60s Star Trek, and so she takes over Captain Kirk's body to be a captain. Now, I'm gonna kind of I'm gonna come up with my own theory here. Now Kirk left her. It's brought up, and I can't remember if Kirk says it and as the essence of Kirk, or if it's Janet Lester who says it. But basically saying that he left Janet because she hated her own womanhood and held that against him. Something of that nature. Okay. And so he left her going like, the woman's crazy. Let's take out the line of Starfleet doesn't allow women. This woman is unstable, completely nuts. She's never going to be a captain. Like, just looking at the way that, yeah, she wouldn't have been captain material anyway, because she's nuts. She's absolutely nuts. Now, we have seen crazy captains in the past, but like, yeah, if she became a captain, she would not have lasted very long at all. But yeah. So anyway, now they talk about, when they're because Janet Kirk as Janet, or in Janet's body, gets to talk to Spock, convinces Spock that he's really Kirk, and is like, hey, this is what's going on. So then it was like, oh, well, you're a mutiny, and so we're gonna have a thing. And so they talk about the life essence transfer. Is that something that could actually happen? And the thing is, it's like, well, we've seen some really crazy stuff out here. We've seen some really crazy stuff. We haven't seen this before, but we've seen some really crazy stuff. Well, I think we actually have seen this before. Let's see. First season episode of the original series. It's called "What Are Little Girls Made Of?" And Doctor, can't remember his name. Christine's fiance, Christine Chappell's fiance. He basically took his life essence and transferred into a robot, because it was more than just his intelligence. It was his life essence that he did that. So now I guess the matter of people swapping, kind of doing like a Freaky Friday thing, which actually, Turnabout Intruder, this is basically Star Trek's Freaky Friday. Yeah. But then there's no lessons. There's no lessons that anybody learned. Yeah. So anyway, just a bad version of Freaky Friday. But I guess now that I'm saying out loud, there was no essence transfer, like, the body, like, Roger Corby getting somebody else's essence, and then his essence is going into somebody else. We didn't see that. It was just his essence going into a robot. I don't know. Just thinking out loud. So, actually, this wasn't a super bad episode. It was tolerable. I don't know why I remember it being so bad. Maybe it's just that it's got this essence that it was just the last episode. I don't know. Okay, so that's 79 episodes down, because it's what? It's day 31, I think. It's crazy. No, day 38. So we actually haven't had an episode for a while, and I forgot to even open up like that. We actually have not had an episode for a week, except for yesterday. We had that special Lower Decks one. My intention was to actually go live every single day, and I still intend to do that. But my life has been super crazy. I have been keeping up on watching the episodes. I just haven't had a chance to actually stream. So, so I'm gonna try and do it more. But there was another thought that I might just not do it every day, because it's a little bit more than I was expecting. Still watching Star Trek every day, just not doing an episode every day. So, the other thought that I had occurred to me is that when I go on and talk about stuff, maybe people actually haven't had a chance to watch it, because like I've gone on at 5 o'clock, on a Thursday, or 6 o'clock on a Thursday. Well, people possibly have been at work and they can't watch stuff at work. And I understand that. In fact, at some point, because my job is changing, I may not be able to watch at work as much as I do now. And I may not be able to watch very much after work, because life for that too is changing. So it's basically finding all the stuff in. So as things come up, I will let people know. I'll probably post it on the Facebook page. I guess that could be a little bit useful. So if you don't know, Year of Trek on Facebook, when I set up the page, I can't actually name it. So it's like, so just look up A Year of Trek on Facebook. I really don't like the way that the new pages thing works. It's kind of stupid. Let's see. And what else? Yeah, that's it. So for tomorrow is the motion picture. Like I said earlier, I'm getting ready to sleep through the motion picture tomorrow. But I'm going to pay extra attention. Going to take some notes. I can't believe we've already gone through one series, and I'd say one whole series, but technically the movies aren't done yet, so we really aren't through the series yet. But I'm looking forward to the movies. That'll be fun. So there you go. Now, until tomorrow, when we talk tomorrow, don't know exactly what time, but I'll post it. If you're following us, follow us. If you aren't following us, subscribe, hit the bell. I'll notify you when I go live, and then you can watch. If you watch after hours or after this isn't live, that's fine too. I'd still love to hear your comments. Still subscribe. Still hit the bell. There you go. Anyway, live long and prosper. I babble too much.